Hi, I'm the Recruiting Maven and welcome back to my channel. So I just want to wish everyone a happy new year. Hopefully you guys are doing great. A lot of you kept me very busy over the holidays, so thank you for that. Thank you for liking and sharing of my videos, subscribing to my videos, and certainly just the actual outreach that I had received on various social media channels that I do have, which are provided in the description box below. I've appreciated all the connections and the opportunities that you've provided me to help you in your career. So with that said, let's talk a little bit about money, because although I've addressed this in the past, it seems like that's always a taboo. I've had candidates say to me, oh, that's not, I don't do it for the money. I do it for the passion. I do it for the project. And I said to one of them at one point, I said, great, that's awesome. So why don't you send me your check? If it's not really about, anything else, if it's not about the money, great, you send me your check. And he said, no, wait a minute. That's not what I said. And I said, well, that's how I understood it. But so, money, you can, as a candidate, you can go overboard and tell me that it's not as important, but it really is, right? You have your bills, you have, your mortgage, you have all those things that you are obligated to do and pay every single month. And that's great. That's not necessarily a negative thing, but I think that when we take a look at money, it becomes very negative, as money is very scarce. There's not enough to go around. And I think if you're approaching money in terms of a negotiation piece in your salary, or how you view your career and your salary long term, then that is going to be a negative. So I just want to give you a few tips on how to continuously get that raise, continuously grow your career at the same time. So as an example, I'm going to pick on IT because that's the biggest portion of my recruitment experience. And so with that said, what I have seen quite a lot of software engineers do, especially ones that are recently graduated, not a lot of years of experience specifically, but that doesn't mean that it's exclusive to that group alone, because I don't think that anything is just exclusive to any one group. So hopefully you can take some tips from this, and it'll help you long term as well. So what I find is that let's just say, as an example, you start your job at $60,000 a year, which is considered, an average, a medium price for, or not price, but salary for that type of role. Software engineering, C#, maybe .NET, certainly Python and R, a different ballgame altogether, right? So you start at $60,000. What I've seen a lot, and when I started recruiting, I started to see a lot of these software developers jump every 2 years to a new position, and every 2 years you're allowed to really ask. And it's the allowed portion of that doesn't mean that it's written anywhere. It's a rule. There's nothing written or said or really talked about that. But what I can tell you is that it's allowable for you to ask a $10,000 jump between one job to the other. And I think the golden rule is about 2 years at that job, 2 to 3 years at that job, I should say, and then to make that leap of $10,000 in your next position. So what I find is also that they do, so some of these guys will say, okay, I'll stay here 2 years, jump another 10,000 after that, and spend another 2 years at their next position, jump another $10,000 in their third position, 2, maybe 3 years at this last one, and then they make another $10,000 jump again in that last position during their negotiation piece. And so now their salary over the span of, say, 6 years has gone up some $30,000, where people who stay at the regular job are getting maybe 2% annual increase, if that. Mind you, there's bonuses, there's other things involved for some people, but I would say that the majority of the people don't have a bonus attached to their annual income. And so, and if it is, I've seen somewhere around the ballpark of $100 to $200 in terms of, that bonus. So it's not really a substantial amount of money. And so, I want to I wanted to give you this information because a lot of people just don't talk about it, and or think that you're being disloyal if you're sort of, jumping ship every 2 years. But let me just explain this portion to you. We specifically, where I live, in the state that I live, California, is an at-will state. That company will get rid of you and will not hesitate to get rid of you based on that, right? Most people think, well, I'm a regular employee. There is no such thing in the state. All of the contracts, every piece of employment, other than contractors or temp people, are at will. That particular employer can get rid of you at any time. So, the mass layoffs that we've seen over the last couple of years, and companies going more into contractor usage, is specifically to save themselves money, of course, and so people get upset. But you have to look at it from a mentality of really planning out and understanding who you are, your skill set, and the entire economic system that we live in. So this isn't about whether you're loyal or disloyal to your employer. This is about really looking out for yourself, understanding who you are and where you want to go. So I hopefully, sorry, I'm getting over a cold. So hopefully you have found this helpful to you. I was able to help someone very recently do exactly as I just mentioned, get a $10,000 annual increase on her salary, and I thought that was a phenomenal feat, and she was very, very happy. So, and I was also happy and honored to work with her. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's been such a rewarding experience to help a lot of you as well in your career, whether it's been coaching or resume writing or just some social media evaluation. And I definitely want to address some of those issues in a later video. With that said, I do wish you have a wonderful 2018 ahead of you. And if you do need to reach out to me for anything, any questions, please feel free to check out the description box below. With that said, thank you for sharing, liking, and subscribing my channel. Take care and have a wonderful rest of your week.